13 Action News, elevating Las Vegas, live at 6.
And happening right now, gaming on. Governor Sisolak says it is almost time to reopen casinos. And calling all places of worship President Trump's major push to get people back in the pews. And a pandemic payday when some independent contractors can finally start cashing unemployment checks. Well, casinos could be back in action in less than 2 weeks. June 4th right now is the date being circled on calendars. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ty Quinones.
And I'm Trisha Keene. Well, a major announcement today. Governor Steve Sisolak just set June 4th as the target date to reopen casinos. Let's get live to 13 Action News reporter Jeremy Chen. And Jeremy, that is the biggest wager this town has seen for 2 months now.
Absolutely, Todd and Trisha. A huge development just coming down this afternoon. In just about 2 weeks or a week and a half from now, you may be able to go back to a casino and go to the slot machine or a poker table. And we're also expecting to possibly see phase 2 of the state's reopening plan come to fruition. Now, according to the governor, the target date for reopening casinos and other gaming properties is being set for June 4th. Now, that is contingent on whether the state meets health marks when it comes to containing COVID-19. We've already seen multiple casino groups outline their safety protocols in their reopening plans that they have released publicly. Now, in the past, the governor mentioned the opening of casinos to happen in later phases, like phases 3 and 4. It appears this may be happening sooner. Now, as far as a phase 2 reopening, according to the governor's reopening plan, this would allow more retail stores to open with social distancing guidelines. Now, this is what the governor had to say about the state moving into further reopening phases at a meeting with the Vegas Chamber today.
It's important that when visitors come here, when they start coming back to Las Vegas, to Nevada, they know that this is the safest place in the world to come on vacation.
Now, we've been getting statements from various casinos on the governor's announcement. Boyd Gaming saying this is an exciting announcement for our company and the entire state. We're ready to get back to business. The health and safety of our guests and team members is extremely important to us, and we will do this right. Now, Caesars Entertainment also adding, we are excited to welcome our guests and our employees back to our properties. The company intends to comply with all reopening directives from the governor and from the Nevada Gaming Control Board. But the Culinary Union had a different tone in their particular statement, saying, quote, as casinos move to reopen, the Culinary Union will not allow workers to be experimented with. The idea that each gaming company can come up with their own plans, keep those plans secret, and hope that one bad employer doesn't harm workers and the entire industry is a potential disaster. We also did reach out to MGM Resorts and Station Casinos. They got back to us, and so far they say they have no comment at this time. Now, we're expected to learn further details as far as this particular plan, as far as how phase 2 reopening is actually going to happen exactly. That's expected at a press conference that's scheduled for next week on Tuesday. Of course, we will be carrying live right here on 13 Action News. Jeremy Chen, 13 Action News.
All right, Jeremy, we look forward to that. And President Trump threw down the gauntlet today, deeming churches essential and calling on them to open immediately. Let's get to 13 Investigates reporter Joe Bartels live near Spring Mountain and Las Vegas Boulevard. And Joe, there are several issues that are at play here.
Trisha, there are really several ideas here at play, and there's a delicate balance between personal freedoms as well as public health. And there are several new guidelines from the federal government which may allow houses of worship to reopen. Here's just some of the guidelines posted by the CDC. They're suggesting remote services and limited contact for high-risk populations. Congregants need to practice good hand washing, covering coughs and sneezes, and folks are encouraged to wear face coverings. Religious groups are also asked to consider holding outdoor services or in large, well-ventilated rooms. There needs to be a minimum of a 6-foot separation among congregants and staff conducting services, and houses of worship are asked to increase the number of services to allow for greater social distancing and separation. Some religious leaders we spoke to say the guidelines are welcomed, but there's still lingering questions about how to move forward.
This just came out today. It's a new guideline. So how do we implement that? How do we take a look at this? How is this a part of what we are going to be doing once we do open again for in-person services?
I could see a scenario where you now have these guidelines for churches to safely open, and if you refuse to do so despite that, I think the Department of Justice in your state, you could be facing a lawsuit, filed by them.
Attorney Matthew Hoffman says while the U.S. Constitution protects states from federal government overreach, there's larger legal questions about personal freedoms and possible violations about those closure orders. Now, just moments ago, the Catholic Archdiocese here at Las Vegas released a statement. It says in part that they are pleased by the announcement and they're working on their own directives for churches. We have reached out to the governor's office, but we have not heard back. Reporting live, Joe Bartels, 13 Action News.
Joe, thank you. Well, we are coming up now on the big holiday weekend with some weather changes.
Yeah, now fortunately for us, as things stand right now, the bad changes sort of happen after this weekend, Danny.
Yeah, that intense heat holds off until after Memorial Day, so it does give us a few more days to get outside and enjoy the seasonal temperatures before triple digits return. Want to get you a check outside tonight. The big weather story for your Friday is this wind, really gusty conditions. Check out Henderson, sustained wind near 30 miles per hour with gusts up to 44 miles per hour, and that 40 to 50 mile per hour range for wind gusts is a trend that we're seeing across the Las Vegas Valley. So it's windy out there. It's also warmer today than what we've seen the past few days at 87 for McCarran in North Las Vegas, 81 right now in Summerlin. Through your Friday evening, the red flag warning expires at 8 p.m., so in a couple hours, but temperatures will stay warm and conditions will stay pretty windy through dinner time. Overnight into tomorrow morning, those clouds clear out a little bit and the breeze will linger through your Saturday. Tomorrow, a little cooler, mid-80s, but from there, we do build in quite a bit of heat. Triple digits are expected by next Tuesday, but that does give us some nice days ahead of us for the 3-day weekend. And with people having a 3-day weekend, maybe you and your family want to head outdoors and enjoy the nice weather before the intense heat returns. If that's your plan, couple things to remember. 13 Action News reporter Astrid Mendez has a few tips on how to stay safe.
This year, having fun at parks and hiking trails involves being smart to stay safe, since a lot of places are not fully operating like they did in previous years. Red Rock Canyon might be closed, but its hiking trails are open. This is just one example of how some parks are operating under limited conditions, which means that you need to be prepared in case of an emergency.
When you start getting in these really hot temperatures, things like a twisted ankle that could be a life-threatening injury. But if you can't get out and you're stuck out there and you don't have enough water, it can really, really become a problem. So number one, water. When you're going hiking, water in the car is doing you no good. Take the water with you. And if you think you've brought enough water, you haven't. Bring more.
That's why it's important to be ready.
This is filled with water. We have all our water. Definitely chug water before we even head out. So.
Yeah, most definitely. We come with travel packs and stuff, so we don't come unprepared.
Also, tell people where you're going and don't rely on your cell phone. Be aware of your surroundings and don't forget to wear proper clothing.
Well, protect yourself from the sun, because it gets hot, and when it's beat down on you in the desert, there aren't a lot of places you can duck for shade.
And while there may not be other people around you, COVID-19 rules still apply, including wearing a face mask if you come up on other people.
Restrooms, for example, may not be open or may not be being cleaned on a very frequent basis. So you need to be prepared with water and soap and hand sanitizer for cleaning your hands regularly and avoiding contact with high-touch surfaces that might not be disinfected on as regular a basis right now because of limited staffing in them.
If all of this feels overwhelming, you can still recreate, but do it closer to your home.
Taking a bike ride with your family or walking around your neighborhood or having a backyard picnic, those are choices that help us to encourage the safety precautions that are necessary as we start to just improve things just a little bit here with the COVID-19 situation in Nevada.
If you decide to visit a park, it's recommended that you check the website of the facility just to see if there are any specific rules before visiting. And of course, be safe out there. Astrid Mendez, 13 Action News.
An annual Memorial Day tradition is going virtual this year. All public Memorial Day ceremonies at the Southern Nevada Veterans Memorial Cemetery there in Boulder City, they have now been canceled. And that includes placing flags at grave sites. So instead, the department will release a video online honoring veterans. The cemetery, though, will remain open for public visitation, but officials are asking people to practice social distancing and also wear a face mask.
And for more things that you can do on Memorial Day weekend, we have a list on our website at ktnv.com/positivelylv. Well, new at 6 tonight, a royal leader is helping Las Vegas in the fight against COVID-19. The Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi is spearheading one of the largest testing sites here in Nevada. Now, this is according to the LA Times. It reports that Prince Mohammed donated more than 200,000 test kits. That's worth as much as $20 million. Jim Marin, the former MGM chief executive and chair of the Nevada COVID-19 task force, told the LA Times that the gift arrived last week.
And also some good news right now for people who filed for unemployment. Dieter indicates that some payments will finally go out next week. The employment agency says that the delay is due to some remaining claims being more complex. Now, this includes gig and also contract workers. Dieter says the payment system for this group is expected to go live tomorrow. Payments are then expected to start going out next Wednesday. Well, right now, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, call center, and the Employee NV website, they are down for a system update. The temporary shutdown is to install the payment system. Both, though, are expected to be back up and running at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The outage, though, will not impact the unemployment insurance filing site or the call center.
Well, now that school's out for summer, CCSD is weighing options for next year. The district is asking employees, teachers, and parents about their experience with distance learning. Now, the district has sent out a 10-question survey today, and it's already gotten a massive response. The district says the reopening of our schools, family, and community survey has been taken by 67,000 people within its first 24 hours. Now, through 10 questions, the district asks about how often you work from home, if COVID-19 will impact your decision about attending school in person, how your kids felt about distance learning, and if you feel your student is prepared moving forward. So CCSD waiting to see what the governor does in terms of allowing kids to go back to school in the fall. This is a fluid situation in states that are reopening in phases following the federal guidelines like Nevada. The district is trying to get a gauge on if blended learning or distance learning are viable options for our community moving forward. Now, you can take the survey until June 1st, Todd. So if your kid goes to CCSD and you want to have some input, I highly suggest you take the survey.
Yeah, it's, Tricia, as things stand right now, it's hard to see school reopening without some form of distance learning.
Yeah, and this is going to be very interesting how this plays out because a lot of parents have a 2-income household. So where do you put your child on those days, possibly? So a lot to go through here. So we're going to continue to work on this story and get more information.
Yeah, it's going to impact a lot of people. All right. And by the way, if you do need that link to that survey, we do have that and more information on our website at ktnv.com.
And just in time for the holiday weekend, a liquor and cigar store is ready to welcome you in.
And also savor those Memorial Day hot dogs and hamburgers, why holiday grilling may be a little pricey.
Welcome back tonight. A local liquor store found success in delivery services during the statewide shutdown, and now with the stay-at-home order lifted, the store is finally getting back to normal.
And so in this edition of We're Open Las Vegas, 13 Action News reporter Alicia Patillo takes you inside Roy's Liquor, where they're adjusting to the changes.
This is good. I'm in a good neighborhood. The neighbor like me, I like him more.
Serving the Summerlin community for a decade.
People know me from 10 years. I have great reputations.
When COVID-19 hit, Roy's Liquor took an unexpected turn in a way most brick and mortar stores haven't seen.
We closed 20 days. After that, they let us do delivery, and we did it. It was awesome, good. A lot of people appreciate it. We appreciate it. We stay in business. And after that, we get the curbside, and they're working well too.
And now that the inside of Roy's liquor store is open, a lot has changed again.
We put only 2 customers at a time. We have a mask. We clean in Everclear, 190 proof. So we clean the register every customer walk in. We keep distance between customer.
With new safety measures in place and the community support, Roy says this store will survive, and he's hoping you will too.
I'm glad I opened, and I encourage everybody to go back and be safe and be strong like what we do before.
Alicia Patillo, 13 Action News.
And by the way, Roy's Liquor is located at 3330 South Wallaby Way. That right near is right near Desert Inn. And for more information and also a look at other businesses that we've highlighted, you can head to our website at ktnv.com.
And worth noting here, if the name Roy Bullough sounds familiar to you, he was in the news a few years ago during the 2016 election. He was one of 8 people charged in an investigation into alleged campaign finance violations. Well, coming up tonight, the heat is certainly on and summer is almost here. The pandemic is an even bigger risk for parents and children.
And also, Commissioner Lawrence Weekly invites you and the family to a movie night.
Welcome back tonight. With so much uncertainty right now, one thing we know for sure is that this summer will be hot.
Yeah, and so Clark County right now is sending out their Safe Kids van to warn about the dangers. Now, the van is going to be parked outside a Smith's store on South Rainbow starting at 10 a.m. A display board on that van is going to show exactly how hot it can get on the inside of a car, just how deadly that can be for children who are inside. In Nevada, by the way, it is illegal to leave a child under the age of 7 unattended for any reason.
Well, Clark County Commissioner Lawrence Weekly is hosting a drive-in movie night. It's next Wednesday at the West Wind Drive-In Theater on West Cary Avenue. The movies will be Trolls World Tour and Jumanji: The Next Level. Gates open at 7:45 p.m. and the first movie begins at 8:15. The first 100 vehicles will get in free. Well, the holiday weekend is here. A lot of folks getting ready to get outside and enjoy the weather, but today, boy, those winds are really whipping outside. I can hear it.
Yeah, that's the story right now, Danny.
Yeah, your Friday forecast, windy and warm. That's kind of what we're looking at for today. But moving through the rest of the holiday weekend, we're looking at major improvement, that before triple-digit heat arrives on Tuesday. So a few days ahead of us to get outside and enjoy the seasonal temperatures. Right now, taking a look at current conditions, we're at 87 degrees in Las Vegas and North Las Vegas. Same for Henderson, 83 in Pahrump. But as Tricia and Todd mentioned, wind is really the big weather story. You see sustained winds near 30 miles per hour for Las Vegas. Gusts have approached and in some spots exceeded 40 miles per hour. We do expect the windy conditions to continue through your Friday evening. Wind really doesn't die off until we head into tomorrow afternoon, but you do notice overnight into tomorrow, it's a little better than what we're dealing with right now. Still considered breezy, 10 to 20 miles per hour, but we don't expect the 40 mile per hour gusts after about 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Moving into your Saturday afternoon, and that's when things will settle down, although we will still start on the breezy side tomorrow morning. With the wind tonight, a red flag warning is in place for a lot of the area until 8 p.m., so about an hour and a half or so with the gusty conditions and the dry air. So please keep that in mind. It's something that could impact, potentially could impact plans. Satellite and radar overall, pretty quiet, just some cloud cover moving across southern Nevada right now. Shouldn't cause too many issues though, and in fact we expect that cloud cover to clear out ahead of sunrise tomorrow. So tonight's planner showing 80s through dinner time with the breezy winds. Tomorrow morning as you wake up, we will start with sunshine right from the get-go. We'll warm quickly in the 70s by 8 or 9, and you notice wind speed starts breezy, but it will start to taper off for the second half of your Saturday. A lot of people talking about Lake Mead this weekend for the holiday weekend. Again, with the breezy conditions tomorrow morning, a little choppy on the lake. By Sunday into Monday, things should settle down with that wind weakening. 84 degrees, that's below average for this time of year. So tomorrow we're dropping back a little bit and should be really pleasant. But from there, nothing but a warming trend takes us into the start of next week. Temperatures just don't let up. We're back above average by Monday, just a degree above average though, so not too bad. But check out where we land by the middle of next week. So it is a really quick heat up, with Thursday and Friday's high temperatures at this point looking about 15 degrees above the seasonal average. So that intense, potentially dangerous summer-like heat hits us pretty quickly after Memorial Day. But it is nice that that triple-digit temperature does hold off through the holiday weekend, so that you do have a few good days ahead of us to head outside and enjoy the seasonal conditions.
Wow, what a big difference from 84 to 108 in a week's time. All right, Danny, thank you. Well, Uber launches a new feature for families, how it can help you save on money.
Financial Focus, sponsored by Clark County Credit Union.
And taking a look right now, the numbers on Wall Street. The Dow is down 9 points. The NASDAQ is up nearly 40 points. S&P 500 is up nearly 7 points. And in local gaming, Boyd is down slightly. Caesars is up nearly 1%. MGM is down slightly. Las Vegas Sands is down 3%. Wynn down nearly 6%. And Red Rock Resorts is up 8%.
In tonight's Financial Focus, burgers and hot dogs for your Memorial Day cookout will cost you more this year. That's due to higher demand for food at the grocery store. And also because more people are eating at home during the pandemic. Meat processing plants have also slowed or shut down due to the virus. And Uber Eats is launching a new feature that it's calling Family Style Meals. It highlights restaurants that offer special meal deals for families. And right now, the service is only available in select cities, but it will be available at all Uber Eats locations by June. You can find it in the Uber Eats app. And that is tonight's Financial Focus, brought to you by the Clark County Credit Union. Well, next on 13 Action News, live at 6:30 tonight, helping our first responders deal with the pandemic, the strategy a UNLV professor is using to improve their mental health.
And also remote job opportunities, the search engines making that possible for job seekers.
13 Action News, elevating Las Vegas, live at 6:30.
Over the next several months, we are helping you get back to business in a new series. It's called The Rebound Las Vegas. And pandemic pressure and stress, they are being blamed for people's declining mental health. Recent studies have found that more than 40% of Americans fall into that category, and the impacts may linger on long after COVID-19.
And 13 Action News anchor Ross DiMattei sat down with a UNLV professor, and he has more about that.
What I'm seeing is more mental health problem arising.
The stress is mounting.
You have anxiety, depression, people who can't sleep.
And many Americans don't know how to handle it.
It is a normal reaction in an abnormal situation felt by a normal person.
As a registered nurse practitioner, Dr. Rejal Tan has the tall task of treating people's mental health during a global pandemic.
We want to normalize their experience.
And he's actually having a lot of success overseas. Using a strategy called critical incident stress debriefing, Dr. Tan has been helping healthcare workers fighting on the front lines in the Philippines.
These frontliners see doctors, paramedics, nurses, see a lot of difficult cases and even death, a lot of death. And slowly and subtly, they didn't realize that it has some impact on them psychologically.
So he's been hosting virtual meetings, facilitating conversations between nurses so they can connect and talk openly about the trauma they're seeing and experiencing all around them.
It can affirm to them that what they felt, others have felt too. It's not only unique to them, and that together they find each other's support and then normalize what I experience is the same as what you experience, and then grow from there.
Dr. Tan believes this method can have broad success stateside too, not only for nurses, but Americans everywhere who are feeling alone and overwhelmed.
Seek support. It doesn't need to be professional this right away. Your friends, your family, somebody you trust, talk to them about what you experience.
And when that's not enough, Dr. Tan is trying to eliminate the stigma that can come with seeking professional help.
If we seek help for physical problem, we should seek help also for emotional problem. There is nothing to be ashamed about.
And that was Ross DiMattei reporting. Well, many in the Valley are working to recover from the financial fallout of COVID-19. Now, some of us are facing piling bills, including medical debt.
You're ill or in an emergency situation. You're not thinking about whether that person's in my network or not. You want to get the best help.
And Craig Antico is one of the founders of the national nonprofit RIP Medical Debt, or Rest in Peace Medical Debt. They pay off lingering medical bills for people who can't afford to pay them. The Federal CARES Act included over $100 billion to reimburse healthcare providers for testing and treatment of COVID-19 patients, but that only covers those who are uninsured. Some health insurance companies plan to cover deductibles or copays, but not all. The good news is your medical bills are negotiable.
We pay the market rate for debt, which is kind of funny in that people don't realize that their debt is worth a lot less than the full value.
And if you're worried about debt, Antico says call the billing department to try to negotiate a lower bill. Ask for an itemized bill to double check the charges. And finally, he says, try not to pay more than 3% of your income per month.
And certainly, as we know, searching for a job can also be stressful and overwhelming. And with a very real fear of getting sick, many people are looking right now to work from home. So where do you start? Well, Flex Jobs offers a remote job search and free resources to help you out. They say that there's a remote job for everyone at all levels. And be sure to reflect your remote skills in your resume, in your cover letter, as well as in your interview.
Put that in there, that you're a proactive communicator that is going to get noticed, whether it's by an ATS system that's going to be looking for those keywords or a person who's scanning the resume.
Yeah, and also be sure here to improve your search with keywords like remote or virtual. You could also use social media as a tool, but if you do that, you do have to look out for possible scammers. Well, it is tough these days being separated from friends and family. Spending so much more time at home isn't always easy, but we are finding out ways to cope, aren't we?
That's right, we sure are, Todd. And Scripps reporter Chris Conti shows us the different sides of being cooped up inside and ideas to help manage the pressure, no matter your situation.
I'm extending my garden this year.
A once-in-a-lifetime pandemic has suddenly planted us into a dramatic shift of routines.
I've been going for a lot more walks.
Working in her garden, Mary Rose Steele reflects on the past few months of isolation. Some days with her 3 kids and husband prove more difficult than others.
I'd say the absolute hardest part is that we can't go and see our parents, so the kids can't see their grandparents, and they're really upset about that, and they really miss them.
We built like 3 rockets. Families across the country are having to take creativity to new heights to maintain sanity. Mary Rose has taken quarantine in stride. But like many moms, sometimes she just needs a minute.
This morning I took a break. I just walked out of the kitchen and didn't say anything to anybody and just went and took a shower.
We're spending a lot more time together than we used to.
That is Craig Smith. He's a psychology professor at Vanderbilt University. Even introverts, he says, are struggling with social isolation.
Yeah, what do you want?
My son is sort of introverted, and he tells me that his biggest problem with what's changed is we never go away.
For families or couples quarantining together nearly 24/7, Craig has this piece of advice for the tougher moments.
Reach out and talk to people. And when you talk to people about your struggles, one of the things you will often learn is that other people are having the same struggles.
Staying at home means something entirely different for Andrew Connor. He lives by himself in Seattle. His kitchen is his office, is also his gym. For this 32-year-old who was always on the go, this has been a tough transition.
This is usually my dinner table and coffee table all at once.
To keep himself focused, Andrew has created lists on his bathroom mirror, reminders of things to be grateful for. It's helped him stay grounded.
It's more of like the ultimate mental test. You're forced to slow down. You're forced to think about things.
I think trying to monitor your feelings as best you can is a good thing. And if you feel that you're feeling some sense of loneliness or a sense of loss because you're not talking with someone, reach out.
I'm getting to enjoy my kids. I do love them. There are hard days, but I love spending time with them.
Managing the pressure of this pandemic often means taking each day as it comes.
Ready, set, go.
I'm Chris Conti reporting.
Yeah, and taking those breaks, we all know that as parents can be lifesavers, right? Well, we also do have advice on finding a job, making ends meet, and also managing mental health. All of it is on the Rebound section of our website. It is our way of helping us all try to recover from this pandemic. You could head to ktnv.com/rebound.
Well, nearly 100 passengers are killed in a plane crash. Learn what exactly happened in Pakistan.
And doctors say the quarantine 15 is no laughing matter for the people who are most at risk. This video right here of the black smoke is the aftermath of a deadly plane crash in Pakistan. A jetliner carrying some 98 people crashed in a neighborhood right near an airport. Officials believe the plane had engine failure during landing. They say, though, there were at least 2 survivors. The pilot was heard transmitting a mayday shortly before the crash.
Well, legendary Hall of Fame basketball coach Jerry Sloan died this morning. According to the Utah Jazz, their longtime head coach passed away after complications from Parkinson's disease and Lewy body dementia. Sloan spent 23 years with the Jazz and ranks 3rd among NBA coaches on the all-time wins list. Jerry Sloan was 78 years old. Well, you've heard of skinny jeans, but doctors now think it's a different set of genes that help people fit into them. How they hope to use genetics to help overweight people.
And also, some senior citizens are learning how to spin some tunes. Learn about their new favorite activity when we come back. And so a new study says that a gene may actually help some people stay slim. Scientists found a genetic variant that is unique to thin individuals. Well, the researchers say the ALK gene, A-L-K, ALK gene, which creates a protein that's involved with cell growth, could actually lead to a new era in the fight against obesity.
Well, that's fascinating. Well, you have probably heard people joke about the quarantine 15, right, while being at home, but doctors say it's really no laughing matter. A new survey from WebMD shows people have gained weight since stay-at-home orders began. Researchers found people are eating more baked treats and carb-heavy meals and drinking more alcohol. Doctors say this pattern is dangerous for people who are at risk of catching the virus.
Social distancing is hard, of course, on everyone, especially people living in senior communities, but a new pastime is helping them out.
That's right. It is called Radio Recliner. Hannah McDonald shares how some residents are DJing on the radio.
When you retire, the expectation is you won't be working anymore, or at least the work you're doing is effortless.
Here's 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen.
That's not the case for 76-year-old Lois Pixley.
I have no experience public speaking.
Giving DJing a try.
We like Dolly Parton. She's a hoot.
For the first time in her life.
Oh, my kids thought it was so funny.
This goes out to my little English bulldog, Maggie.
The digital radio station is called Radio Recliner. Lois and 13 others at Summer B. Franklin Senior Living Community.
This is Bob Coleman, better known as the Karaoke Cowboy.
Are sharing songs and stories right from their homes. It gives them time to sit there and think about 10 or 15 songs that they just love and why they loved it. Did they dance with their loved one? Did their kids dance with them growing up? But it just took them back to like happy times.
Radio Recliner.
Pirate radio run by retirees.
Seniors across the South are DJing on the platform.
That was In the Garden, and it's one of my mother's favorite songs.
On her first show, Lois talked about being confined to her apartment because of social distancing.
It's been hard, but I also don't want to expose myself.
I know that they're doing it for our good, and so why complain about it?
Like Lois, most of these seniors were likely not destined to DJ.
In fact, I was so shy in school that I always got a stomachache if I was going to have to even present a paper in my class.
Yet her message to take this time apart and make something of it, that may be all we need to hear.
To you out there in radio land, try to look at the good things in your life and appreciate what you have, and let's listen to some gospel music. This is Miss Fancy Pants, and I'm signing off now. From Summer v. Franklin,
Hannah McDonald.
thank you for listening, and I enjoyed the time with you.
Miss Fancy Pants, that might be the best DJ name. Well, for your Friday, warm and windy conditions. If you stepped outside today, it's hard to ignore the wind. Happy to report that that relaxes into the holiday weekend, and we have pretty nice weather for the next few days. Want to get you a check of current temperatures across the Las Vegas Valley. 80s for a lot of us. We're at 80 degrees in Summerlin, 85 for Southern Highlands, 87 for Sunrise Manor, Henderson, and at McCarran. But the wind, it is gusty out there. Sustained winds around 30 miles per hour for a lot of the Las Vegas Valley. We have seen gusts approaching and exceeding 40 miles per hour, and you see that's the case across the entire region. We've been dealing with the wind for much of the afternoon, but speeds are expected to peak right around now. As we move into late tonight, by 9 or 10, we'll start to back off a little bit, and the general trend overnight into Saturday morning will be weakening, but we still expect a bit of a breeze to linger through your Saturday before wind officially calms down heading into Sunday. Because of the wind, red flag warning in place until 8 p.m. So just over an hour under that red flag warning. But do keep in mind that the breeze will linger into tomorrow, which could impact boating plans. It does tend to make things a little choppier on the lake if you're heading to Lake Mead. Satellite and radar not looking bad, just some clouds sweeping across southern Nevada right now, but we do expect that cloud cover to clear out after sunset into the overnight hours. So tonight's planner looking pretty nice if you can ignore the wind. Temperatures will linger in the 80s through dinner time before overnight lows dip into the 60s ahead of tomorrow morning. So mostly clear, but cool and breezy as you wake up to start your Saturday. Highs tomorrow backing off a few degrees. We expect to be back in the mid 80s, a bit below the seasonal average with a breeze, but from there we warm well into the start of next week. Temperatures already back to the upper 80s for Sunday with sunshine, and then Memorial Day on Monday looking like mostly sunny skies, light winds, and highs in the low 90s. That's pretty seasonal, but it's a shame we don't stay there. From Monday into Tuesday, a big jump in temperature, and we do expect triple-digit heat heading into the middle of next week, and not just 100 degrees. It looks like 105 to about 110 will be the range starting Wednesday through next weekend, which is potentially dangerous heat and almost 15 degrees above where we should be this time of year. So enjoy the holiday weekend weather. It looks really nice. It looks like the summer-like heat, not too far off. That was a check of your 13 First Alert forecast. We'll be right back.
So even during a pandemic, some standout students managed to shine.
That's right. And these stories feature top students from across the country. They're good to know.
These twins from Milwaukee have a lot more in common than just their looks. They each got accepted to 37 colleges and universities and combined received more than $1 million in scholarship funds.
Honestly, we're pushing for 40 college acceptances, but we ended up getting like 37. I was like, oh man, but it's like we still did good.
Right. On top of those accomplishments, they also finished with the 2 highest GPAs in their class. Now they're off to Marquette University to study nursing. COVID-19 didn't stop this year's top student athletes from being recognized. A caravan rolled through Jupiter, Florida to celebrate athletes who left a permanent impression at their schools. They're called the Champions of Character.
They've embraced a lot of school initiatives. They've embraced a lot of mental health issues.
These students were setting that bar.
The students honored weren't just leaders of their sports teams, they were leaders in the classroom and in the community. At North Vermilion High School in Louisiana, 2020 is the year of Girl Power. Most with the title of valedictorian didn't get to share the experience, but this group of 9 girlfriends are serving as co-valedictorians together.
It's really cool that we get to do this together and have this part, because we've all been kind of in the 4.0 area our whole lives.
Friends since middle school, the girls are looking forward to what's next for all 9 high achievers.
And that is 13 Action News for now. We'll see you back here tonight live at 11. Thank you so much for making 13 Action News a part of your day. And happy